going on a fishing trip.
We're going on the Spitfire.
Spitfire, Marina Del Rey. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody!
Here we go with a barracuda, a baby barracuda. We're about aboard the Spitfire out of Marina Del Rey Sportfishing, and they're playing with a jig right now. And he caught a baby barracuda. All right.
Huge surf here on New Year's Eve in SoCal at Surfside, California. I'm getting ready for the morning briefing. It's great to be with you all. It has been brought to my attention that there is one brave surfer out there. Only one guy. He's way down there by the jetty. I think I got to take a walk down there and get him in the shot. All right, almost time for the morning briefing.
Stay tuned. You're watching Friedman Adventures. Mwah!
Independence just got in this morning from their 5-day Christmas trip with bluefin, yellowfin, and this rare escolar. Check it out.
First cast coming up. Dad Leland's back. He ain't screwing around anymore.
Freaking nice bar perch.
Life's good. Woo!
Good job, man.
Oh, Phil, I'm so glad you talked me into this.
Woo! What a way to start the morning briefing. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. On behalf of everyone here at Friedman Adventures, I sincerely can't thank you enough for your great support. I thought we'd look back at a few of the great events that have preceded us this year and then get into the morning briefing because there's a lot of great fishing to talk about.
Oh my God! What a fish! Yeah!
Beautiful Osprey has just made a kill, but what is it exactly? Let me slow this down for you. I'll slow it down and see if you can tell me in the comments down below what you believe this beautiful Osprey will be dining on in the very near future. Incredible sights in Surfside, California. It turns out that the question really is this an Osprey? So many of you have said, no, it is a hawk or some other raptor. What is it? We need your help to identify this raptor. Is it an osprey? Is it a red-tailed hawk? Is it a peregrine falcon? Come on, chime in. Leave a comment down below. We need to know what this is.
He was part of the Chumash Indians, and the Chumash Indians.
This guy?
Yeah, he's like third, fourth generation.
Okay.
Catalina used to be
right.
inhabited with Chumash
9,000
Indians.
years ago they had.
Yeah. When pterodactyls used to fly around there. Yeah. So at any rate, he invited me to a Chumash Indian ceremony over there. And I mean, it was one of the coolest things ever. And I got a chance to learn the sheephead call. And the sheephead call has been passed down from generation to generation for hundreds of years.
You're BSing me now.
No, really. These people know how to call sheephead from the cliffside, and it enabled the gather. There was hunters and gatherers, and the hunters would go in and gather these sheephead by doing the sheephead call. And again, it took hundreds of years not only to learn this and be, fortunate enough
joke, isn't it?
to learn this, but you're killing me right now. Trying to keep calm here. You had to have been fortunate enough to learn this, and I was. And they taught me, and I practiced until finally I got it. And now when we go fishing, I use the sheephead call, and man, we've had limits of sheephead for many, many
Do you do it on
trips.
the PA?
No, I have to do it in person because that way you get the actual gist of it, and you have to be on the rail because the PA kind of scares them. But
Yeah.
Sheephead goes something like this, watch carefully.
This is the call?
This is the call.
Yeah.
That's the sheephead call.
Bullshit.
You want to edit that out because that is something mentally you will never forget for as long as you live.
Yeah, no kidding. Did we get that on? Okay, good. Yes, I hope you can zoom in on that.
I'm sorry, I've ruined.
Do you do that on every trip?
No, only on the ones that are requested.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your service. This is all about the vets and your kids and how grateful we are to have you on board. Brad and I had done these trips many times out of Oceanside, and I went to be a teacher in China for 3 years. And then the minute I get back, man, he lays this thing on me about how much he missed these. I was almost in tears. He was talking about how much he missed the trips and everything, and I missed them too. So I want to thank everybody who made today's trip possible. A group called Friends of Rallo. They're great. They get kids out on the water. Today they're bringing vets and their kids together. That's super important. Friedman Adventures, that's this guy, me and his brother. We do blogs and videos and adventures around the world. So he'll tell you you can check that out. Dana Works Sportfishing, for sure. Donna up there in the ticket office has gone to extremes to make sure we have a really comfortable and great trip. And, am I missing somebody? Waterboats Bass, who donated some water thermal things for you guys. Everybody on board will get that. If you're new to fishing, you can hit Philip up or me. I'm going to be shooting a lot of video and photos, so hit us up, the crew here, be happy to help you. If you know what you're doing, just catch lots of fish and have a good time. There'll be lunch for you guys, rods and reels are provided, and once again, you have our extreme thanks and gratitude for being here today. So thank you all very, very much. Thank you. See you soon. Have a good time. Woo!
Chop, chop. Let's go. Chop, chop.
Boom!
You getting them? Yeah.
Everybody's out here waiting for the disaster to happen. Good job, David. We got the elf out here looking, man. Yeah. Hey, I think it worked. Scott? Oh, no, Scott. No. We got a fire going.
Just a reminder to you all, it is great whale season. It is an incredible migration, and you and the family should get out and take advantage of it. And toward the end of 2023, we were blessed with the appearance of orcas here in Southern California. We certainly hope to see lots more of both, including pods of dolphin in 2024. Check out this unusual creature that washed up in front of Louis Prieto's house in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. Dr. Gwen Goodman-Lowe from California State University at Long Beach says it's either a dwarf or pygmy sperm whale. Hard to tell from the angle. Extremely rare for these waters and rarely seen at sea. Most of what knowledge we have about these creatures comes from specimens that have washed ashore.
This is not a translator. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you.
I'm Desiree.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Yeah, this is I'm so happy. Oh my God. Phil, how the hell did you do
Danny
this?
Cadota and I went to Torrance, California to the Sushi Chef Institute to try these fish chips out.
A fish chip.
Really?
It is. That's what he said. I go, wow.
You are going to have to try these. So good.
Philip is a great teacher, and he is a wise person. We have been friends, and we have worked together for more than 3 years in Suzhou. He is loved and respected by students and parents. He always gets ready for his class, and he always brings a feeling of energy and enthusiasm to the class. He loves China and he loves Chinese culture. He enjoys traveling around. And once he traveled to Sichuan and he was invited by a big English center. He treated the English teachers for a couple of weeks and he communicated with the new students and the parents. He is a great public speaker. We all love his speeches. The words and the voice, so powerful and heart-touching. He likes making videos. A lot of interesting videos for students and teachers. It's my honor and pleasure to work with him.
A really fun and productive method to take yellowfin croaker in the Southern California coast is by throwing a small lure. It really works well, and it's lots of fun.
Deception jig, man, and that thing hit the bottom, twitched it once, and it was
These small round stingrays can inflict an immense amount of pain. The best thing you can do is to soak the wound in warm water. Do you have a suggestion? Put a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, sir. Come on, bounce it. Don't hit me. Jesus Christ. Whoa, I love it.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, where I am one rogue wave away from getting washed out to sea. I'm really trying to pay attention here because there's some awfully big sets. As you can see behind me, there's one lone surfer out there. I'm trying to stand in the middle of the frame so you can see the waves crash up on the jetty. Here it comes, getting closer to me, and also see that lone surfer out there. And we'll see if he can catch a wave. One brave guy out there so far here this morning. Hey, it is great to be with you all. There's so much going on fishing-wise. I know that was a long lead in, but I thought we'd look back at some of the past things that have happened with Friedman Adventures, including honoring our vets, a little bit of time in China, and so much more. So once again, if you could hit that like button, we'd deeply appreciate it. Also share these videos with a friend. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Of course, subscribe right now to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can also follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Really great to be with you all. Well, let's jump into it with you because we have so much to cover. And once again, I'm listening for any kind of indicator that I'm about to get screwed here. So, wow, that is a big one there. Man, this is very, very, very impressive here in Surfside, California. All right, let's talk about down there in Mexico Lindo just for a moment. Down in Cabo, still some good striped marlin fishing going on, occasional yellowfin tuna. In La Paz, Jonathan Roldan from Tail Hunter Sport Fishing. Doesn't get any better than Tail Hunter Sport Fishing with Jonathan and Jill. Take my word for it. He says, you know, normally we catch rooster fish in the spring, maybe the summer, but this year, maybe they're not all that big, but we're catching roosters already. And I'm wondering if that is not that El Nino affecting us right now. Again, we're getting indicators of that El Nino in so many different ways. While it's not supposed to last past spring, maybe into summer, we do see some effects of it, and that early rooster fish in La Paz perhaps is another one of those signals. Up there in the San Quintin area, that's 140 miles south of the border here, south of Tijuana, and we continue to see some yo-yo iron yellowtail, pretty good at times. Lots of rockfish. Rockfish will remain open there after January the 1st. It will close in the United States. Up in Ensenada, big bonita, nice big ones, and lots of rockfish in that neck of the woods also. All right, let's talk about the bluefin tuna, and here we go, yellowfin tuna. I'm talking this El Nino, the possible effects. These were 5-day boats that ran out of San Diego, left the day after Christmas. They didn't go all that far down the Baja coast, over 150 miles. Most of those guys down fishing in that zone where they found bluefin tuna and yellowfin tuna. Now, it wasn't wide open for everybody, but doggone it, it's wintertime here in SoCal. We're still catching
bluefin. And it really does not surprise any of us who've been watching this so very closely, because we've got all this market squid, a ton of market squid out there in the local environment, whether it's at the islands or on the banks or even on the coast. That market squid is part of the food chain. It's holding that bluefin tuna here. That's what we think anyway. And it's setting up for a magnificent spring in 2024. All that squid is just going to be a magnet that draws in predators like white sea bass and halibut and so much more. Some pretty good fishing going on for the long range guys. The Polaris Supreme, he was up there around 160 yellowfin tuna, over 100 on the bluefin tuna. On board the Independence, they had bluefin, yellowfin. They also had an escolar, which I know you saw on the lead-in. Pretty incredible stuff there. Pretty rare catch. The Royal Polaris fished the coast for yellowtail and sheephead and whitefish, and also got a piece of some nice big bluefin tuna, including a fish that was up over 200 pounds, I believe 275. And then the same guy, Matt, who caught that 275, backed it up with a 190-pound bluefin tuna. So there has been some really incredible stuff going on here in Southern California. It is remarkable, no question about it, as I see a boat heading out into that muck out there. I don't know about that. Actually, when you get offshore, there's no wind at all. So once you get out past this, you're pretty safe. And, you know, we saw Michael Limon and his grandpa and Isaac and everybody, along with our friend Nick Ramirez on board the Spitfire this morning. We wish them all the very, very best. So bluefin tuna definitely within the realm of possibility. It was south of the border. There's also some yellowfin tuna mixed in with it. It's pretty remarkable, and what a way to move into 2024. It should be an exciting season to come, which reminds me that we've got a great trip leaving April the 4th and fishing to April the 9th. 5 days on the Independence with Friedman Adventures. There you have it right there. You can sign up and join us on that great trip. It should be a fun one. The Independence is so comfortable. The food is so great. The crew is outstanding, and the fishing adventures and opportunities endless. You're going to have a great time. Friedman Adventures, 5-day trip, April the 4th through the 9th. Hope to see you on board that one for sure. Now, rockfish season. Another crazy surfer is down here. So we've got a couple of guys willing to brave the elements here today. Wow, super impressive. I hope you're enjoying the show back behind me there. It is really remarkable. Rockfish season will close here in SoCal, but some guys got a last shot at it and had a lot of fun. Sean Terrell, Terry Flynn, Michael Howe, all were on board the El Dorado, all having a great final rockfish trip of 2023. So happy you guys caught so many fish and had so many memorable moments. Of course, we've seen similar kind of fishing up there in the Channel Islands, although the weather's been really tough and many boats have had to cancel here these last few days with this big swell and all this crazy weather going on. But we have seen tremendous rock fishing up and down the Southern California coast, and we have high hopes that that will continue in 2024 when rockfish season opens up again here in SoCal, but that's a few months away. For the time being, we hope that that rockfish bite south of the border is good, and that's where the San Diego landings have an advantage. You can go down to San Diego as long as they go into Mexican waters. Rockfish is open, and man, those Colonet trips are on the horizon. What is a Colonet trip? Punta Colonet is a little town in Mexico, which I've driven to many, many times and fished many, many times before. It's a great little place. It's about 120 miles down the Baja coast. San Diego-based boats will run day-and-a-half trips down there where they can catch copious amounts of colorful and good-eating rockfish. Rockfish season is open. They catch big lings down there, and at times they get some hellacious yellowtail bites on the yo-yo iron and fishing a dropper loop down on the bottom with a big mackerel or a sardine. You can see some great fishing. That's going to start taking place now pretty darn soon, and that should be a lot of fun. Now, even 3/4-day boats out of San Diego have the advantage of crossing the border into Mexico and fishing rockfish. So if you're dying for rockfish, that's one way to get it. The other way is jump in your car and drive to Ensenada and jump on board with one of the great pongeros down there, whether it's Mara's or Blackfin Sport Fishing or Arnie's. Man, you can go down there and have the time of your life. That's another way to experience Rockfish in 24, which is tomorrow. I can hardly believe, man, this year went by so darn fast. We have seen some evidence of white sea bass and some good halibut fishing, but it's been inconsistent with this big swell. It's made things very tough. The last trip on the Pride out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, was a very slow one. They surmised on the Pride that it was this big swell that mucked things up and put the fish off the bite, but not much on the sea bass and not much on the halibut at all. We've seen in the last month a trip on the Pride where they had 55 halibut. We also saw one trip where they went 7 for 15 on the white sea bass. The last trip where they didn't bite, this most recent trip on the Pride, they saw evidence of the fish, but they just were not in a biting mood. And perhaps it was these big seas here that kind of screwed that all up. They're going to run one more trip before the year's out. We'll see how that one turns out. And man, again, as I look ahead to 24 and all that squid that's around and all these good conditions and these late halibut scores and even this white sea bass, it's going to be an incredible 2024. We have a reverse 2.5-day trip on board the Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing in June. That should be an awesome trip. I'll be releasing our charter dates here shortly, so you can join us. That would be great. Michael Liu on the Gale Force getting in on his last trip of the year with a couple of big goats, and also the Lobster. They ran those combo trips where they fish the rockfish, or they fish mostly sheephead and whitefish, and then they go to Catalina Island and load up on the langostas, and they did really, really well. So that is great news indeed. So again, we'll keep our eyes on all of that and much more. The local bass bite will continue. You can fish bass here in the wintertime, so you'll see a lot of that wintertime sand and calico bass fishing going on at many of the landings. Dana War, Sportfishing, Marina Del Rey, where we have our Friedman Adventure family members fishing today on board the Spitfire. We'll get some updates from them for sure. Have some more on the morning briefing tomorrow on their trip. And then also, you see it down there in San Diego and several other landings. A lot of guys will transition into that. You're going to fish a leadhead and squid in most cases and fish 25 to 40 pound fluorocarbon. You got to pull hard when you get a bite on those bass because they run right back into the structure. Keep that in mind. Surf fishing right now, I mean, that clearly illustrates why you don't want to be on the rocks on a jetty in this kind of condition. I see our surfer still out there. Has he caught a wave yet? I'm wondering about that. But yeah, it's just too dangerous right now. The surf is way too big. You're not going to catch anything. You're going to put you and your family and loved ones in danger. So not a good time. But once this all settles down, surf fishing is a great adventure for all of you. We had kids out here on their very first surf fishing trip the other day, and they had the time of their lives catching big old giant smelt, and we were catching yellowfin croaker, and we were catching well, we weren't, but they were catching some spotfin croaker down by the tower on Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway. We also have seen some Lake Corbina and some halibut in the surf. So don't forget, that will be a viable option. And you can go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait you'll need. And as we get deeper into winter and it gets much colder, the water temperatures, you're going to see those fish not bite the artificials so well, like a chrome crocodile, and they'll turn more to bait. You can get all that bait at Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and you can get all the tackle you'll need. They have trout stuff down there. They've got all your surf fishing stuff. After all, they're Southern California sport fishing and surf fishing headquarters. And also, if you need big game stuff, they've got all of that for you also. Surf fishing will be the real deal. Lobster fishing has been great. Hoop netting has been fantastic here lately. Catalina has been one place to get it done. Will Beardo with Wet Willie Charters, creaming the lobster. He's available for charter, and man, you're not going to find a better guy than Will, and you're going to have a lot of fun. Wet Willie Charters out of Huntington Beach, California. You should go, man. He's loading up on the langostas all the time. He's a great guy. Tell him hello for me. Also out recently, Scott Sherman. Man, talk about a New Year's Eve feast. He lined that up with some great lobster hoop netting on the Promar Ahi lobster hoop netting update. That should continue. And lobster love to crawl after conditions like this. So that might very well be in your future also. All right, looks like I've avoided the rain. I haven't gotten washed out to sea in a rogue wave, and it's a perfect opportunity for me right now to thank you for all you've done for Friedman Adventures this past year. Whether it was giving us a like or sharing the videos or telling somebody, hey, you got to watch this crazy guy, man. He's on the beach every single morning. Anything that you have done for us, donated to our efforts to send more goods to Mexico, helped us in a variety of ways. I sincerely appreciate it. People that volunteered for our Christmas party. I'm not going to mention you by name, but God bless you. Thank you so very much. Thank you all for your great support, and I sincerely wish you a great 2024 to come. I'll be back here on New Year's Day. I wouldn't miss the opportunity to be here for the first day of the year and share some more fishing info and other thoughts with you all. In the meantime, have a great one. Be safe tonight. Have a great New Year's Eve, and I hope to see you really, really soon. Happy New Year, my friends.